We waited a full year for this moment, the proof that confirms every suspicion, every gut feeling. From the start, something felt off about Kody's sudden urge to move into a new home, to put on a show and act like he cared deeply about Truly. It wasn't about family or love. It was a move to get ahead of a growing problem, a legal storm brewing from Christine's side, possibly over custody and child support. Now, as the new season unfolds, Kody and Robyn are rewriting their story for the cameras. They are claiming the move was about grief, saying they wanted to leave behind the home where Kody learned his estranged son had passed away. But fans aren't buying it. Many found it downright manipulative that he used tragedy as an excuse for yet another self-serving decision. Even the new house they bought raised eyebrows. It had 5 bedrooms, but given the people living there, it didn't even make sense. Between Kody, Robyn, and their kids Brianna, Aurora, Solomon, and Oriella, every room was taken. Truly never had her own space. Records later suggested that Dayton, Robyn's older son, was staying out in the garage. It all felt strange and coldly calculated. Then came the financial moves. In September 2024, county records showed something major. Kody and Robyn signed over properties in Yanel and Mary's names. For years, Kody had bragged about control, made threats about ownership, and insisted he deserved more than anyone else. Yet suddenly, right after Christine's lawsuit was filed, he handed over 50% of his equity in Coyote Pass. That meant hundreds of thousands of dollars wiped from his personal assets. Why? Because reducing his visible wealth would also reduce his child support obligations. Around the same time, Kody opened something called the Whitestone Trust. After years of putting every home title in his own name, suddenly he and Robyn were buying a mansion through a trust and taking out a $1.6 million loan. That increased their debt dramatically, making it look like they were less wealthy on paper. Financial experts call the asterisk equity stripping, pulling cash out of property, inflating debt, and shrinking visible net worth before a court can calculate payments. It's a classic move to avoid paying support. The timing was no coincidence. Court documents show there was already a protective order in place. Kody wasn't allowed to sell, transfer, or hide assets. But he did exactly that. While he was quietly shifting property, he also filed a countersuit against Christine, demanding custody of Truly. One hand was hiding money, the other was setting a legal trap. Before the case even reached discovery, Kody abruptly settled. That move conveniently ended Christine's chance to subpoena records and trace the money trail. Let's break down the red flags one by one. First, asset diversion. He gifted property shares to Yanel and Mary, reducing how wealthy he looked on paper. Second, ownership shielding. By using a trust, Kody could claim that the new house wasn't personally his, even though he benefited from it. Third, equity stripping. That $1.6 million loan inflated debt and lowered his net worth. And finally, liquidation before settlement, converting traceable property into cash, which can be moved or hidden easily. He even sold his previous home, the McMansion, quietly. The listing vanished from public view. It was still on the MLS, but visible only to certain agents. He found a private buyer, completed the sale, and recorded it after the fact. That's a major violation of the protective order. The result? He walked away with cash in hand and no paper trail linking it to Christine's case. Where did the money go? Possibly into the new house, or into the trust. Maybe even hidden under a different name. What's clear is that it all happened right as his child support case heated up. And if you think this sounds extreme, you'd be surprised. People from polygamous backgrounds often know these systems inside out. They know how to move assets and conceal income to avoid support obligations. By the time Coyote Pass sold, Kody once again avoided public transparency. There was no public listing, no open sale. The property sold quietly to a single cash buyer. After taxes and fees, Kody and Robyn walked away with half the proceeds, but again, no sign of where that money went. Maybe he bought more assets, maybe he tucked it away under the trust name, or maybe he spent it on himself. Whatever the case, Christine and Truly never saw a cent throughout all of this. Christine's legal team was left playing catch-up. Kody stalled the process at every turn, delaying filings, missing parenting class deadlines, and dragging out mediation. Christine, on the other hand, followed every rule. She completed her parenting classes right on schedule, while Kody waited months. His goal was to run the clock and wear her down. When they finally met with the commissioner, Christine raised serious concerns. She said the case could become high conflict and even mentioned the possibility of needing someone to inspect Kody's home to verify that it was suitable for a child. There was even talk about appointing a guardian ad litem to look out for Truly's best interests. That kind of request only happens when there are concerns about neglect or possible abuse. The case was then categorized under a higher risk classification. Then Christine's book came out in September 2025, and it painted a troubling picture. According to her, when Truly visited Kody and Robyn's home, she didn't even have a proper room. The first time, they made her sleep in a detached suite, just a bedroom with an outside door, no bathroom, no connection to the main house. The next visit, she was placed in Solomon's room, sleeping on a mattress frame on the floor with no curtains on the windows. It was clear she was not comfortable, and after that, Truly refused to stay there alone again. From that point on, she only visited when her sisters came with her, and eventually, she stopped going altogether. That detail says everything. For all of Kody's talk about custody, his home wasn't even prepared to welcome his daughter. And Christine's claim suggested that it wasn't just neglect, it might have been something more serious. Right after that information came out, Kody suddenly agreed to settle. By May 2025, the deal was done. By then, he'd already sold Coyote Pass, moved into the new house, and loaded himself with new debt to make his financial situation look tight. His monthly payment on that house was estimated at over $11,000, a huge number that, again, would reduce how much support he could claim to afford. At the same time, Kody's spending habits didn't match his supposed financial hardship. He bought a brand new Mercedes-Benz worth over $100,000, gifted Robyn an expensive diamond ring, and commissioned a $25,000 art piece just for her. He also began collecting luxury watches, Rolexes, Cartier pieces, and their home filled up with high-end artwork worth tens of thousands of dollars per piece. Instead of caring for his daughter, he was pouring money into luxury items and image. Every wall in their house was covered in art. Every inch screamed vanity and wealth, just carefully hidden from the legal system. Then came the final move, sealing the case. After the settlement, Kody filed a motion to seal everything. In Utah, family court documents are generally public record, especially orders, judgments, and rulings. But somehow, Kody got special treatment. When his and Christine's hearing came up in a public web session, attendees were suddenly removed from the call. The case continued privately, and no one outside the courtroom was allowed to hear the details. The official explanation was likely to protect Truly, but those who watched his family for years know the truth: Kody wanted to protect himself. Sealing the case meant that no one could review his finances, no one could see the final child support terms, and no one could question how the property sales aligned with court orders. Christine may have won her freedom, but she never got full justice. Truly is now 15, old enough to choose where she wants to live. In Utah, judges consider the child preference starting at 14. Truly has made her choice clear: she doesn't want to live with her dad. And once that became obvious, Kody seemed to give up on fighting for her. He and Robyn shifted focus, building their next narrative and continuing to live lavishly under the radar. As for Yanel and Mary, while they did end up with property titles, that wasn't an act of fairness or kindness. It was part of Kody's manipulation, a paper move to reduce his reported wealth, not a moral gesture. His pattern was clear: hide money, offload property, inflate debt, and make himself look broke. Then use that illusion to avoid paying what's fair. What's truly frustrating is that this entire scheme could have been exposed if Christine had been allowed to go to trial. Discovery would have opened every account, every trust, every hidden sale. But Kody made sure it never got that far. He delayed, then settled, then sealed. Case closed, at least legally. Still, the evidence in public records tells its own story. Property transfers, trust filings, and court timing all line up. This wasn't coincidence. It was a calculated effort to protect assets and reduce liability before a judgment could hit. Whether or not it was illegal, it was unquestionably deceitful. And it shows the kind of manipulation Kody and Robyn have mastered: financial, emotional, and legal. So when you watch the new season and see Kody pretending to be heartbroken, talking about loss, or acting like he just wanted to build a new home for family, please remember the bigger picture. Every house, every move, every teardrop seems tied to money, image, and control. Kody and Robyn's scheme to defraud Christine didn't just hurt her, it hurt Truly. It robbed a child of stability while they played house in luxury. And the fact that they exposed their own behavior on camera this season? That's almost poetic justice. They may think they're rewriting the narrative, but the truth is already out there for anyone paying attention. So what do you think? Were Kody and Robyn deliberately hiding money to dodge Christine's claims? Or was it all just terrible timing and coincidence? Drop your thought below. Hit the like button, and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next deep dive into this family's tangled web. Thanks for watching, and remember, the truth always surfaces, no matter how hard they try to bury it.